Hi, this is Kelly Davis, your host of the Untold Miracles podcast. And today I am so excited for our special guest.
We are.
He
We're
is
all
a
excited.
famous actor, producer, singer, and stand-up comedian. You may know him from Adam in Workaholics, Bumper in Pitch Perfect, Andy in Modern Family, Julian in Ice Age, or the Flash in the Lego Batman movie.
True.
What you may not know about Adam is that he is a former patient at a Children's Miracle Network hospital who has a very inspiring story of hope and recovery. Mr. Adam DeVine, welcome to the podcast.
Woo! I like when people throw a Mr. in front of my name. It makes me feel like a real adult.
I am so excited that we have a very special guest on the podcast. She is actually a patient at MUSC Children's Hospital, and she has sickle cell, but she is so brave and courageous, and I'm so excited you get to join our podcast with Adam today. So I know that you have a question or two that you want to ask him, so I'm going to turn the mic your way.
Pass the mic.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
So, I have two questions for you.
Hit me with them.
The first question, well, this is not a question, I'm just asking you.
Okay.
But the first question is, how do you feel today?
How do I feel today? Today, pretty good. I woke up a little too early because I was so excited to come talk to you guys. And then I couldn't fall back asleep. But then as an adult, what you do, you just chug a coffee. And that's what I did, and here I am, and I'm feeling great.
So, how did you feel when you was in Pitch Perfect and doing all that singing?
I was actually super nervous because I'm not a real singer. So when I actually told my parents that I got the movie, I was like, hey, Mom, Dad, I'm in this big movie. And they're like, what is it? And I'm like, it's called Pitch Perfect. And my dad's like, cool, a baseball movie. And I'm like, not a baseball movie. It's a singing movie. And he goes, but you can't sing. And I go, yes, I can. And then he's like, I still don't believe you can. So no one believed me. And it took until the movie came out and was a hit for my family to finally admit that they think I'm a decent singer.
How do you feel being a comedian and an actor?
You got 3 questions for me. Okay, I see you sneaking in extra questions. I love it. It's super fun because as a comedian, you get to make people laugh and you get to make people kind of forget about their problems. And then as an actor, you get to do more than just make people laugh. You get to make people think and experience things through the character that you're playing. So it's a super fun job.
Thank you for asking all those questions for me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for asking them.
You're welcome.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Maya. We are so excited that you got to join the podcast today.
Yes, thank you so much.
Well, I'm so excited for this interview today because we are inside MUSC Children's Hospital in South Carolina. And Adam, I know you can relate on a personal level with what these kids have been through.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please share your experience when you were hit by a 42-ton cement truck when you were 11 years old?
I believe it was 32 ton, but
Okay, Google has it
you're
wrong.
embellishing a little bit. I was hit by a cement truck as a little boy. I was 11 years old, and it fully crushed my legs. It broke my femur, everything from the knees down, my ankles, took the skin off both legs, broke my ribs, punctured my lungs, and I was in a coma for 2 weeks. And then when I came to, I was in traction, and I couldn't walk for almost 2 years. I had something like 26 surgeries over the course of those years, and it seemed like every time I started to get a little bit better, I had to have another surgery in order, to keep getting better. But just sort of mentally, where the sort of space that puts you in where you think you're getting better, and then another thing happens, and then you think you're getting better, and then another thing happens. Mm-hmm. And so it took a lot, and luckily the nurses at the Children's Hospital in Omaha were so great to me, and my parents and my family were all really cool and great and helped me through that.
Do you remember being in the hospital and being fearful, and how did you handle that fear?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think it was, they were shielding me from a lot of knowing, like, how bad my injuries were.
Right.
But you were scared that I wasn't going to be able to walk again. And I loved playing baseball. So it was mostly about my professional baseball career that I was pretty sure it wasn't going to happen anymore. But it was, Yeah, I was scared a lot.
Yeah.
But I remember the nurses would give me a squirt gun. And when I had skin graft surgery on my legs, so they had to replace skin from my thighs and put it on my legs because the skin was taken off. So they had to come and like peel at it all the time, and it was super gross and it hurt super badly. And the nurses gave me a squirt gun to squirt the doctors anytime they came in to poke at me. And so I squirt them right in the face and the groin area every time. Every time I was just squirting away. I'm not sure the doctors like that, but it definitely made me feel a lot better.
Well, so you were 11 years old at the time. Tamaya, how old are you? 13. So that's really young for you guys to be going through these experiences. What was the biggest life lesson that you learned from those 2 years looking back now?
Well, I think it's when you overcome something like that in your youth, you realize like how precious life is and how you have to live every day as if it's your last. Like live life to the fullest and experience everything you can. And it makes you realize that this ride doesn't last forever and that you should try to get everything you can out of it while you're here.
Are those memories from the hospital vivid in your mind, or has it been so long ago that it's not as vivid and not as much as part of like what you think about?
No, it's definitely like certain parts of it are very vivid. I remember certain events very clearly, and then other parts are a little hazier. But I definitely remember quite a bit, and the help that I got through the children's hospitals that I spent time in was. It was like it's hard being a kid and going through this. You're not an adult, and you don't process things the same way. So, and being able to like come to a place like we're in right now where we're speaking, it's this atrium where there's just tons of toys. There's a pool table and there's foosball. And there's a ton of games to play, and if you feel up to it, like to come to a place like this and just messing with stuff and playing and kind of forgetting about being in a hospital is a great feeling. What's your favorite game here?
Uno.
You like Uno? I saw Uno was pretty popular. Okay. Kelly just went crazy. She hated that answer.
So I can't lift this.
Thank you. Evidently, Kelly hates the game Uno and just smashed the microphone on the ground.
Okay.
I don't know what your favorite game is.
Say that again. You can say your favorite game. Say my favorite game is Uno.
My favorite game is Uno.
Uno. Okay. Well, I kind of forget how to play Uno, but I needed a little refresher course because that seemed like a popular game here.
Okay, Adam, I want to talk about the scars that you received from your surgeries. I know that you were bullied a little bit from that. How did you deal with the bullying?
You know what it is with bullying? Bullying. They're kids that when you're young you don't understand that you think that they're the tough ones and they're the ones that have it all figured out. You don't really understand that they're the ones that are insecure and that obviously something in their life is not going exactly right and they're taking it out on someone that they feel that they can. And so for me, luckily I come from a very funny family and we're a very outspoken family. And so I would honestly, and I think it helped develop me comedically, I would go home and I had a little notebook and like the kids that were making fun of me, I would go down and just like write back everything that I thought they were going to say to me the next day and then retorts. So I would quickly have comebacks to them and then they'd say something mean to me and then I would jab them back and they did not expect that. And then especially when they didn't have an answer to come back with, they're like, oh, he just punked me, put me in my place. And luckily, I never got beat up. I was in a wheelchair, so you can't beat up the kid in the wheelchair. That's a rule.
Okay, I want to talk about what it was like growing up in Nebraska. I'm from Wyoming, so I feel like we got a little bit of
we have some kinship.
Yeah, kinship.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. It was a great place to grow up. It was a super...
How big was your home?
You have to keep all these slams in the podcast. I want you to not edit this.
Okay. No,
this microphone keeps falling.
Okay.
the facilities here at this hospital are top notch. I want to say that.
No, it's like
It's not
like,
this.
it's like broken.
It's not the hospital's fault. The fact that we can't get a microphone.
Sorry, I can't do
stand.
it with my shoulder.
No, pick up the bottom base and turn.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lily, can you?
Yeah.
So, wheel that back up.
This is the first.
Here we go.
I'm like,
We do it all here.
It's a screw on, so turn the
okay,
bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
There it goes. Yeah.
Mom.
Mom knows what she's doing.
So you screw it on the other end. Yeah.
Yeah. Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Oh yeah.
There we go. We got this.
All this, so we're good.
Teamwork. Hilarious. This is how. That is true. That is true. This is how out of shape I am. That I'm currently sweating. I'm currently sweating from
Okay,
that.
I think we're good. So tell me how many how many people are in your hometown?
Omaha's not a small place, so I think there is like 800,000 or 600,000 something. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
And when did your love of comedy first begin?
You know, when I was hurt, I always liked comedy. I always liked laughing. Who doesn't? And you're really weird. You're a weirdo if you don't like laughing. Yeah. If you're like, I hate laughing, you're strange. But not to bully you. That's your own thing. Be strange. But I always liked laughing. But when I was hurt, my dad and me just watched a million movies. So he was just renting movies every night, and we were just watching movies over and over again. And I always went back to the comedy movies because it made me laugh and forget about my mangled legs. So we started to watch actually a lot of stand-up comedy, and I just watched people's acts over and over again. A lot of it wasn't appropriate, I'll admit that now, but my dad's a wild man. So
Give a shout out to Dennis.
yeah, shout out to
Mom,
Dennis
Penny.
DeVine and Penny DeVine. And they let me watch a bunch of stuff, and I kind of fell in love with the art of stand-up comedy and writing comedy. And I would just sort of write in my notebook different ideas and different jokes that I had and different sketch ideas. And then by the time I was in like 7th and 8th grade, I had like a lot of material to start doing comedy.
So, was there an age when you decided, oh, I want to do acting as well?
Yeah, it's probably like 14 or 15, that I like really thought that was something that I wanted to do.
Well, I hear a rumor that in your hometown they were shooting the movie about Schmidt.
Yeah, that's
and you
right.
were kicked off the set. Is that true?
I was, yes. I was 15
You were
years
working
old.
at the
I was
grocery
working
store?
at the grocery store. Alexander Payne was the director. He wanted real life extras, like extras that worked at the grocery store. So this movie about Schmidt, Jack Nicholson's the star of it. They were shooting in my hometown. They were shooting at my grocery store. They wanted real life extras. I was real life. So I worked at the grocery store. I'm like 15 years old. I had just started walking again after my accident, and my job was to stock shelves. So like, we need someone to stock a shelf in the background while Jack Nicholson gets milk. And I'm like, I'm just the guy. And so I'm in the background stocking the shelf, but I keep like angling my face out to get more on camera. And the director's like, cut. Hey, for all the background, I'm like, there's me and one other guy. It's definitely me. For all the background, this isn't Jack Nicholson. You're not in a movie. So definitely don't look at the camera. Cool. And then they're like, and action. And then I do the same thing again. This time I like put my shoulder back, so it's just more of my body's in frame. And now I'm stocking shelves like how no one would ever stock a shelf, like a giraffe. And then they called cut. And they're like, great, we're going to have you stock shelves over here. And then I'm like, whoo, upgrade. It's my time to shine. And I'm like, this is my big break. And then they have me start stocking shelves behind the camera. I was just doing work at that point. They just put me back to work. And I never made it in the cut of the movie.
That's so funny, from wanting to be on the big screen to now today you just starred in the Isn't It Romantic comedy. And
That's
you've
right.
made so many hit movies. Is it kind of surreal?
Some clunkers too.
Some clunkers
Let's be
too.
real.
Okay.
A
But
few
is
clunkers.
it surreal that you literally you had this dream and you're living that dream? What does that feel like?
It's good. I'll admit it. Ooh-wee. people always like. I think the accident. I wouldn't have been. Wouldn't have been in this position. I might have done something in entertainment, but I wouldn't have been in this position if it wasn't for the accident. Because after that, and I didn't die and I survived. My parents were so supportive, and I followed my dreams, and I think just people just really believed in me that I could overcome something like that. And why not? Why couldn't I go off and be in TV and movies?
Right. Do you ever get nervous? I mean, in 2017, you hosted the MTV Awards. Like, were you nervous for that experience?
Movie awards? I usually don't get nervous until the second before it's happening. Like, I'm totally fine. I'm very confident. And then they're like, and action, and the curtains are opening up, and I'm dressed as the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. I'm at the top of the staircase, and I have to walk down it and do a whole song and dance number, and then dance with Rebel Wilson, who's dressed as a teapot, and Haley Steinfeld, who's Belle from Beauty, and then we have a whole choreographed dance number. And I'm not a singer and dancer. Even though I've done those movies, I'm not good at that stuff. Like, I really limp my way through it. And it wasn't until, like, that moment that I turn around and I'm like, uh-oh, what did I get myself into? But it's okay. I think stuff like that, like nerves should be... You should use nerves as a way to know that you're alive and you're excited, instead of something that you're too scared to do and you never do it. Use nerves as a way to go like, oh, I'm going to harness this and use it as energy to do the thing that I'm scared and nervous about doing.
I want to know what the most challenging part of being a comedian is. Or is there a challenging part? Or is it just fun?
It is really fun. I mean, when people don't think what you're doing is funny, that's a bummer. I'll admit. I don't know if it's challenging as much as it is just a bummer. Right. The first few years of doing stand-up is pretty difficult. That's why I applaud any stand-up comedian, because they had to do stuff. No matter who they are, they can be, Chris Rock's son, and even though it's like one of the best comics in the world's son or daughter. And you're like, oh, they have to be funny. They still have to be funny. Yeah. They still have to go through a year or two of eating it and not doing well and bombing in front of audiences. So that's why I have so much respect for stand-ups, because even as an actor, you don't know what you're doing is funny or not until you see it on the screen. But like, to go up in front of a crowd and do something that you think is funny, that you're like, oh, this is going to kill. And then you get up there and people are just like, not for me. Yeah. I don't like that.
Well, I want you to tell us about the comedy group Mail Order Comedy. Was that your break into the business, or what was
that was, we started, I started that with two friends of mine that I met in college, and then another friend of mine, Anders Holm, that I met at the Second City Conservatory, which is an improv school. And we started to make YouTube videos, and it was right when YouTube came out, and we made a ton of those.
So were you doing MySpace too?
Yeah, we did MySpace, and I'm showing my age. And we made all these different videos, and through that, and through me doing stand-up on Comedy Central, because I was doing stand-up at the same time that I was making all these videos, Comedy Central spotted us and gave us a shot to make a TV show, and that became Workaholics.
Love it. So, Adam, I know giving back is super important to you. A couple years
Soup's
ago,
important.
we had you dress up as a villain, and we had some Miracle Kids dress up as the superhero, and we were in Los Angeles. Do you remember that day? Can you tell me what was a memorable moment from that day?
Yeah, I met a bunch of like really cool kids.
You met Nate?
I met Nate.
Yep.
I met
Maverick, Angelica Hale.
Angelica Hale. And like, I followed some of them on social media. It's cool to see them and start to grow up and start to show their talents to the world and what they're excited about, and see them sort of blossom and become young people.
We're so grateful for your support, but you don't just support children's hospitals. You frequently do USO tours and perform for the members of our military.
Yeah, I do a lot of free stuff, don't I?
You do, but can you please share...
I gotta knock this off. I gotta get paid.
Can you share a moment from your recent tour that meant a lot to you?
Yeah, I went I've been in a handful of places. I've been to Japan. I went to 5 military bases there. I did a USO tour, holiday tour, and I hosted it as if I'm Bob freaking Hope. And I went to Poland and Spain and Iraq and Afghanistan on Christmas. And I got to experience that with my dad. And we went and sort of spending the Christmas and Christmas Eve with the troops was pretty special to see. Like, it's the same kind of thing as coming to these children's hospitals. Like, as much as it means for the kids, it also you could see their faces light up when they recognize me, and that's super fun. And same thing over there with the troops. But also, as much as fun as it is for them, it's also pretty fun for me too to see the excitement on their faces.
Well,
so I'm selfish also.
Today, we've met some amazing kids. We
We have.
Tamaya right by us right now. What is something that is a takeaway for you today from meeting all of these kids, visiting some of the patient rooms? Like, what struck you the most about your experience today?
Well, it's cool. I met a lot of really cute kids and a lot of really kids that are being very brave.
We have a really cute one right now. That is just, we're fine. We're good.
No. And I met my girl, Maya, and she's been super cool. Even though I know she's not feeling well, she still was able to chill here with me. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, Maya is very brave. Sickle cell is not a fun disease, and there's a lot of pain. We have cute Maya's little sister.
Right here, Maya. Give me some skin, girl. Woo!
Yeah, these kids,
Maya's little sister's like, hey, we're done talking about Maya. It's my turn.
Maya, you really inspire me. So I have a couple quick fire questions for you.
Quick fire.
Before we end. Okay. Best advice that Dennis and Penny, your parents, have ever given you?
Best advice my parents have ever given me, I guess to be myself. And we all have unique personalities and different gifts we could kind of give to the world, and I feel like just being yourself is the best way to do it. We're all unique, and to try not to conform into any one thing, I think will help you along in life more than conforming and just trying to be like everybody else.
I love it. Okay, your favorite joke of all time?
Favorite joke? Oh, gosh.
And maybe one that kids could hear about.
I see. I don't know if I know any true jokes like that. I don't even really know any like real jokes. I'm more of a storyteller, so I don't know any true jokes.
Okay, if you could make a movie with anyone, who would it be?
I wish it was Jack Nicholson in the movie about Schmidt, but evidently not.
Are you friends with Jack?
No, I met him one time, and he told me to that I was in his way at a Laker game. So,
Speaking of, let's give a shout out to your Clippers.
Yeah,
You're a big Clippers fan.
I'm a big
you
Los Angeles
are
Clippers
at the
fan.
games, and
Yeah,
so
I got season tickets.
maybe next season.
I can go to a few games. This season I was working too much, so it's a blessing and a curse.
Favorite movie of all time?
My favorite movie, you know what movie I keep seeing, it's on TV a lot right now, is The Fugitive with Harrison Ford, the one-armed man. I love that movie. If you haven't seen it, you got to watch it. It's so good. It's also Forrest Gump. My girlfriend, Chloe Bridges, sitting over here. She's never seen Forrest Gump. You got to see Forrest Gump. Maya, have you seen Forrest Gump? She hasn't seen Forrest Gump either. Evidently, it's a generational thing. And we need to spread the word and watch some Forrest Gump.
Okay, your favorite movie or TV show that you've been in?
Whew, that's a tough one. I mean, I created...
I know they're all your babies, right?
Yeah,
And it's hard
I
to pick a
created
favorite.
Workaholics, so that's probably my favorite. But I loved doing Modern Family. The whole cast over there was so great. Pitch Perfect was like... If I didn't do Pitch Perfect, I don't know if I would be doing as many movies now, like, because they kind of gave me the pass to go like, oh, you're allowed to be in movies now. And that was super fun. And, you know, all those girls are going to be friends of mine for life. And Mike and Dave need wedding dates.
I didn't mention that one. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's okay. It's R-rated. I understand. But with Zac Efron, who's become a good buddy of mine, and Anna, who I've done the Pitch Perfect movies with, and Aubrey Plaza. And that movie was super fun. It was the first movie that I was one of the leads, so it was fun for me.
Do you have a motto that you like to live by, other than maybe just be yourself? Which I love that advice you got from your parents.
yeah, it's one of my favorite cheers. It's never gonna sleep, never gonna die, never get sick, never get tired. Stuff don't phase me. So even
Is
if
that
you're
from a movie?
Nope, I made it up.
You made that up?
Yep.
One more time.
Never gonna sleep, never gonna die, never get sick, never get tired. Stuff don't phase me. I replace stuff with something else, but I think it's a good, because you are gonna get sick. You're gonna, all these things are gonna happen. But if you just stay positive and go like, no, nothing phases me. I'm all good. It'll be fine. I think it's a good motto to live by, or at least a cheers.
Well, before I ask you the last question, I just from the bottom of my heart want to thank you for your big heart and all you do to inspire and give back to the kids at our 170 children's hospitals across North America. Each year we treat 10 million kids. These children's hospitals are nonprofits and rely on community donations. So
Yep.
kids like Maya can get the support and the best care possible at their local children's hospital. So you're a rock star.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet of you to say.
And I'm just so grateful for you and Chloe being here today. And the last question, and I ask this to all of my guests, if there were 3 miracles that you could create in the world today, what would that look like for you?
With the hard-hitting cues right at the end, 3 miracles that I could create. Well, we're curing hunger. Okay, that's a cure. We're curing sickness, and also all of us can fly. Also, so right. That way, hey,
I love it.
that solves the overpopulation problem.
love it.
We could just soar off into the clouds.
Yeah. Hey, Adam, I forgot to ask, is there anything that I forgot to ask you?
No, I think we nailed
So
it all.
there's nothing that people don't know about you that you want to reveal now?
That I want to reveal.
Yeah.
I actually got it removed, but I used to have an extra hangy ball in the back of my throat. Hey,
and
but
how old were you?
thanks to modern science, they cured that freak of nature.
When was this? How old were you?
That was a few years ago.
Wait, any other fascinating facts that you want to?
Well, I feel like you're leading me, but I don't know what it is. What is it?
I don't know. I'm just wondering, is there something that we don't know?
No, I don't
Well,
think
can
so.
we please talk about the movie you're shooting right now?
Sure.
When people can watch it?
Sure. It's actually an HBO show,
Okay.
and it's called The Righteous Gemstones, and it stars myself, Danny McBride, and John Goodman, and we're a family of evangelical preachers who run a mega church, and we have private jets, and we fly all over the world. Some of us are corrupt, other of us aren't, and spreading the good word.
And this is going to be available in August
On HBO, yeah.
And also, if people want to follow you, where's the best place they can get content from you?
Probably Instagram.
Okay.
I go by the name of Andy Bovine, at Andy Bovine. I go by that name because my real name is Adam DeVine, and people thought when I was in high school that it's too cool of a name for who I am as a person. They're like, that sounds like a movie star name. We're gonna give you a fake name, and they gave me the name of Andy Bovine, and I actually liked it and made it my Instagram handle.
Oh my gosh, that's great. And also, I encourage everyone to go to Adam's Instagram page because you have to go through several posts, but he posted a picture of him when he was a patient at a children's hospital.
Yeah.
And he is a very cute little 11-year-old boy that's
Thank
got
you
his
for saying
family and
that.
nurses around him. And so, anyway, he truly is just a great guy, and I'm grateful
thank
for
you,
your
Kelly.
time today. And
Yep.
Maya, you are a champion for being in pain and sticking around to share a little bit of your story and ask some questions. Is there anything that I missed asking Adam that you want to ask?
No.
You're good? Okay.
Nope.
All right.
Nailed it.
Well, thank you so much, Adam.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Kelly.
your time.
Bye.